we wake up every morning, we should say thank you to God. We really should say thank you to God, because there are very little things that can lead to unrest, like coups. And the fact that people are going on protests and demonstrations and they're dying, police and military are opening gunfire on them and shooting and killing and maiming some of them. I mean, not to say that we have also not experienced some, because we also saw what happened in Nigeria recently. We're still waiting for that report. We're told that the president has given the go-ahead for the full report to be published. But if you compare what's happening here to the kind of unrest that's happening in Guinea, in Mali, in La Côte d'Ivoire, and the way heads of states in a number of these African countries just do not want to let go of power. And so even if they've been voted out and it's quite obvious, they still want to remain in power, and that could lead to a coup. Then some of them try to review the constitution so they can extend their stay in power. We just have to thank God and pray as well that with all the issues that we're facing in the country, we will not get to that level, because I'm not sure if we can contain this kind of unrest, this level of unrest in the country. And I always say that for some reason, I think God has really blessed us, honestly, because I really don't know what could happen if I pray we don't get there.
So I was watching about 2 political shows yesterday before I went to bed. And the first question that was ringing on the minds of many people is, how has Ghana been able to be civil war free, to be unrest free, all the things that you have talked about? How have we managed to be free of all these things? And when it comes to peace, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, or let me say West Africa, we have been number one. So like you have mentioned, there have been so many instances where it could have gone left. Exactly. But then some way, somehow, we've been able to maintain our sanity, or let me say our peace here in the country. So the question is it our culture? Is it how we've been brought up or trained in this country to be able to support each other? Because at the end of the day, after the shouting, the wrangling here and there, at the end of the day, we are able to still see eye to eye with each other and still be able to say that peace prevails over everything. So let's choose peace over everything else. In the statement of Mahama 2 days ago at Akina Radio, when he was speaking, he said, well, we won the elections, but we sent a petition to the court, and the court said that the MPP won the election, and for the sake of peace, we decided to accept the verdict of the court. So peace, number one, I think has been on the mind of every Ghanaian, and at the end of the day, we tend to choose peace over every other thing, whether it sits well with you or not, whether you're tasting it good or you're not tasting it good at all. As a nation, we have decided to choose peace, and I'm only praying, and I'm also supporting what you're saying, that always and always, I do hope that we'll choose peace over every other thing. Exactly. But I also don't want it to get to a point where there are internal wranglings here and there. People are dying. You remember what happened with the 2020 elections. 8 people died at the end of the day. Lives have been lost. Not have justice, but exactly, we don't have justice for these people. And just in the name of peace, life just goes on. No, we are enjoying peace, but what has happened to the people who've lost their lives? Their families, some families have lost their breadwinners. We don't even know how they're surviving. We don't even know if compensations have been paid these people, if courtesy calls, even just normal courtesy calls have even been paid these people to just see how they are living and how they are surviving. So yes, we are grateful for the peace, but there's a bigger picture to be looked at, which is justice. When people lose their lives during elections, and that's where I don't want to go this morning. This do or die statement that was made. Seydou Nketia has been speaking, and he says that he doesn't think that it should be alarming for the ex-president Mahama to say that the 2024 elections would be a do or die affair. He is just saying, and Seydou Nketia, I mean, he said he's just saying, or he was explaining that what Mahama meant was that at the polls in 2024, if you're a true NDC member and if you love democracy, then you should be able to protect the polls. Yes, open your eyes, be vigilant. Even if it would cost you dying, you should be able to do that for the party and for the country, but not to say that you should go killing somebody.
I find that a little worrying. And yesterday, the former president said that if you misconstrue the do or die statement, it's only for school dropouts.
Exactly, people who left school early.
I mean, I have a little problem with that, because maybe for you and I, we have the luxury of going to Google or, finding out what do or die really means. And we are discerning enough to know that no life is worth losing for anybody to become president. But what about the grassroots? And yesterday, there were some media houses that went on the streets to find out from people, regular people, what they make of the statement "do or die." And there was a man who said that Charlie, your couples na say I was say and that's where I realized that maybe he did not mean harm with that statement that he said. But would everybody get the same understanding so that if you go to the polling station and you realize that for some reason there's some mishap here and there, you may not decide to engage in violence just to correct the problem. And then eventually you'll have the security agencies attack you or, try to restore calm and people may die. Not all of us understand that. So I get that he's trying to explain it, but do the grassroots really get it? Me, that's my biggest concern.
I understand.
Welcome,
Good morning, Johnny.
Thank you. Well, so yesterday on radio, I spoke with Mr. Nana Obribwine. He's the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. And just like your sentiment of race, his response was also that, okay, do or die, die or do and do. That sound nice available. Yes. Okay. The NDC should bring it on.
Yeah.
And then I asked him, well, is this not also inflammatory, such that, both of you are sparking it? I said, well, they come from a party tradition that can never be intimidated.
Yeah.
So they would not take any form of intimidation or bullying. And that no matter the English that's wrapped around it, they see it as being ready to take on anybody who comes.
In what way? In what sense?
Exactly. So I asked him and I said, look, what kind of justification is there? Because in the past, when Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo said, all die be die, he was criticized. He was even asked to apologize for that statement at some point. Now, somebody else is making another statement suggesting do or die. And for those of us who are enlightened, we may understand and decide that I don't need to go and kill myself for somebody to win an election. I don't need to do that. But how many people understand it that way? And especially if it's explained to them in a local dialect and a certain twist or spin is put on it. And now you are hearing also do and die, die or do. It's there. It's, Mr. Obribwine will toss it in shortly and then play it. So for me, it puts it, okay, take a listen to Mr. Obribwine on 3FM yesterday.
Be at the collation center and make sure the right thing is done. Don't abdicate your responsibility at that level. Maintain sign is a do or die affair. It's an English idiom. Obianko be in the dictionary and see what do or die means. It's different from all die be die.
Do or die, do and die and do die. They all mean one thing. The bottom line is that to be forewarned is to be forearmed. And therefore, some of us, we belong to a tradition which you cannot, as it were, make the slightest attempt to humiliate or to embarrass or to bully us. So you should bring it on.
Bring it on.
You should have added tie and die.
Well, it was on the news, so that's quite. But he said it for 4 times.
Bring it on, yeah.
Bring it on 4 times, and that's where my concern is, because the stakes will be higher in 2024. Elections are a big deal for us any day. Now, for when the impression is created that, oh, we got it, and it was taken away from us, and now so go at all costs get it. Some have explained that there is perseverance, is supposed to be vigilance and all of that. Me, I am saying that you are not too sure who is listening and what action they are taking. And you're also not sure who is listening to Mr. Obribwine to say do or die, die or do, blah, blah, bring it on. Are we able to stand when things get out of hand? Are we able to stand? That's the point. Because even in the last election, when it was not a do or die affair, it was not a die or do die. All of what, all die be die.
We even lost 8 people.
We lost people. So for the one that's yet to come, and you see, this is too early in the day because we're just in the first year
of the second administration of Nana.
The campaign seems to have started already.
It has.
And even from the tone of government, you realize that the governance is not the main thing now. The main thing is also for them to break the 8. And I find that ridiculous and ironical because you have come to beg me for a job. I have given you the job. You have not finished doing the job, but you're asking me for another job of which scope you don't know. And the campaigns have started. I mean, the NDC has nothing to lose by going, heavy with campaigns. But for the government in power, we are looking for them to deliver the public good. You get the point?
Yeah.
We're looking for them to deliver the public good. And I say that perhaps there are too many hypocrites around the presidency. So that at this point, they are already talking about breaking the 8. I heard the president talk about it at NPP at 25. I heard Dr. Baumia talk about it. And I'm asking myself, I've given you a job. You have not done the job. You are asking for another job. And the people around you who are supposed to be helping you to achieve the job are not telling you the truth that this is not why people voted for you.
Yeah.
But they are rather massaging the ego of the president and the vice president. Too many hypocrites. At this point, that's not what we want. Because this morning, when somebody wakes up and they are looking for bread and butter to eat, they are looking at their rent issues, they are looking at their roads, they are looking at school fees and all of those ones. They are not looking at breaking the 8. They want to survive until that election. Because if they can't survive and they die, or they don't survive and they don't have what it takes, or they are not sustained, how would they be available in 2024 to help you break the 8?
And you see, if you're talking about hypocrisy, I'll bring in the issue of ECOWAS. And I'm bringing that in because the heads of states that met in the virtual meeting yesterday to discuss the way forward with Guinea, they have proffered some sanctions. But one of the heads of states who's part or was part of this gathering was the Ivorian president.
That's right.
Alassane Ouattara.
Oh, you saw him there,
And I was wondering what was happening because this is also another president who for some reason found a way to get a third term.
Yeah.
And you see, he had said that he was going to let go so that a younger person would take over. Unfortunately, I'm told that that person died from heart attack or so.
Yeah.
So he said that the constitution was reviewed, and for some reason, they found it convenient for him to run again. So they scrapped his first and second term and said that didn't count, so he could go again a third term. This is someone who sees nothing wrong in wanting to run a third term. Is this someone who is going to proffer any proper solutions to what's happening in Guinea? Because if he doesn't see anything wrong with it, why would he think that there's anything wrong with the Guinean
Somebody else
president
doing the same thing,
also wanting to go a third term? And I found that troubling because I feel like ECOWAS again, of course they raised concerns when there was a referendum to change the Guinean constitution to allow a third term. But did they bite enough? And moving forward, what really should the ECOWAS be looking forward to? Because I feel like they only come in most of the time when there's been a coup. And then they come and say that, so we've barred you from any activities regarding ECOWAS, regarding AU, blah, blah, blah. But we all see the signs. And nobody does anything about it. So many people died when they were protesting the referendum for, the constitution to be reviewed. Even after, when the votes went in favor of the referendum, people still hit the streets. And they opened fire on these people. People died.
And
what was done about it?
At the center of all this Guinean situation is corruption.
Exactly.
Now, around the table, yesterday at the virtual meeting, around the table, take the statistics. Almost all of them have corruption hanging around their necks and heads. So, I was talking about hypocrisy earlier. It is that diplomatic hypocrisy that they took to the table yesterday. Because if the person, like I say, the person is doing the wrong thing, and you don't think that, oh, this person has to be stopped, but another person does it and it gets out of hand, then everybody says, oh, we ban you, we take you off, we do this, we do this, we do that. That is, sorry to say, diplomatic hypocrisy. And you see, it stretches even to the AU. Because if you're supposed to be the regional bloc, fostering integration and all of that, for how long have we been speaking about getting one currency?
Yeah.
For how long have we done?
We've not
For
been
a very
able to do
long
it.
time.
And then
the
individually, we are cutting our new notes. We just cut 100 and 200 CD notes.
Right.
But we are the ones saying that we want to do a unified currency. You see the hypocrisy? It's there. So, it's okay.
And you see, when former President
Because what I
Alpha
want
Condé
to
was
say
sworn
next-
Yeah,
in,
you cannot.
some of these same African presidents went there.
They went there.
For his
Yeah,
inauguration.
exactly.
Some of them tweeted
Yeah.
and congratulated him for winning the third
Yeah.
term. Did we
Yeah.
not see this coming?
I said it's a
Why
diplomatic
did we not call
hypocrisy.
him out? I
Finish.
mean, they should have stayed away from him because clearly the people didn't want a third term for him. But they all went to congratulate him. And now that he's been ousted, I mean, nobody wants a coup anywhere else. But we saw this coming.
Diplomatic
Did anybody
hypocrisy.
do anything to prevent it? No.
Thierry,
Good
welcome.
morning, Thierry.
Good morning.
Hi.
Diplomatic hypocrisy.
I'm hearing a lot of hypocrisy into this conversation.
Exactly.
It's diplomatic hypocrisy. Finish.
Anyway, so
They massage their egos.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
sad. And if you look at their ages, I mean, there's so many issues, man. Their ages. And you wonder why it's the older ones that want to keep staying in power. So even in Cote d'Ivoire like this, so the last election that took place last year, if you look at the ages, the youngest person was 51.
Yeah.
And it was only one person. Everybody else was 68, 70 whatever.
something, yeah.
And you are asking yourself, this is some president who said we want the next generation to lead. And yet when it came to the elections, everybody, opposition plus him, were all above the age of...
And they are the
How
same
are the
set
young
of
people
people.
going to get the
it was really
opportunity
clear. It was really clear
to
here
run?
in Ghana. 2020 elections. How many candidates did we have? Like 9.
Yeah.
How many of them were even 50 or even 40 something? They were all above 70.
But I think it's a cultural problem.
Is it?
So for example,
that's how it's coming- yeah.
so for example, the latest of the issues, relating to this,
Guinea,
the
right.
special prosecutor, not even presidency.
Okay.
Special prosecutor.
Right.
41.
And when you are looking at competency, people
Right.
were questioning age.
His age.
That's
yeah.
right.
And one of the references that he gave them was, if you go to France,
Yeah.
The
one
president.
of the world superpowers,
Yeah.
the president there
Yeah, it's his
is
age
young
mate.
enough.
Macron.
Yeah.
When Barack Obama took charge of America. He was in his 40s. And so I think it's
In
an
fact, he
African,
has
it's an
also
African
referenced the
thing.
Attorney General.
It's an African thing
Yeah.
where people are always thinking of or relating competency and experience
With age.
And I don't think it's right.
But
because-
is it not funny that, for example, on the African continent, if you check the statistics again, there are more young people than there are old people.
Yeah, there
Now,
are.
you raise
There
the
are.
central point.
Exactly.
Check the ages of all those who
Yeah.
appeared
Yeah.
at the virtual meeting
Yeah.
for ECOWAS.
Yeah.
Then now look at the broader picture of AU. The older people tell the younger people that there are no jobs. This morning, there's somebody who has had done his degree. He has a first class. He has been home for more than 8 years. No job. The old people tell the young people that vote for me. When I come, you will get jobs. When they get into power, they forget
don't want
them.
to go.
They want to stay on their job.
Because they'll
Yeah.
tell you the young
Just
person
in the
to get
case of
4
Alpha
years,
Conde.
5 years experience.
you
But how would they get the
Where's
experience?
the balance then? I think we need to find the balance where you're looking at that practical experience and you're looking at that experiential knowledge as well. You're looking for someone who has a good mix or blend of these
right.
and says that, I know exactly how the system works. I want to fall in line based on the little that I have learned as well. Now, you see, Bella was making an interesting point about the next generation. The next generation is not led by the older generation.
Right.
I'm sorry, but there needs to be a very smooth transition from these elderly statesmen to these younger ones
Right.
who understand what it means to move forward
See,
with the new digital
we
age.
can
They're
only-
not.
we can
and
only
looking
do
at
that.
digital
They're
age,
going for 30.
looking at
They don't want to let go
Jerry,
of power.
and you see,
We
and
can
you see-
only do that if
Exactly.
we
It's
have
space.
the wisdom of the old
Yeah.
giving way to the strength of the youth.
They are
I'll
not
say it
ready.
again. The wisdom of the old giving way to the strength of the youth. If at this point somebody is gone past 70, wants to be CEO of a state-owned enterprise,
with the same old archaic.
when there's a young career person who has worked like 10 years
ideas.
in there and has the capacity and
Exactly.
potential to be there.
Exactly.
When you have that, and the old person doesn't want to be the board chair, but he wants to be the CEO to lead them, they go to office to sleep.
You know,
Okay,
you know what they said in G.
Exactly.
I think
I
if
said
you go
they
to all
go
the
to the
African
office
countries,
to sleep.
I know they have the same expression in their own native languages because it is almost as if there's a succession of the succession plan that even in the political parties, you have guys coming through with great ideas, with fresh ideas, with great energy, who have that experience as well in governance, but are not given the chance
give it to
because
them.
they are saying,
see,
you are in your
oh, Father,
40s,
babe.
So I was just,
here.
Bide your time.
Where were
They
you
tell
when
you
we're
to bide
fighting in
your time.
92?
And to borrow Johnny's words, what Johnny always says here, people who are tied to the apron strings of
Yes,
the old,
of the old
of
people,
retirees. You see, there are just a handful of us who think that the youngins must be given a chance. And saying, Kakrebi.
we're
The
actually
rest,
more.
no,
We're
hold
actually more
on.
than them.
We're more.
No, wait, so hold on.
I think she's making a point about
Yes,
those who
exactly.
hold this idea.
Those who hold this idea. We are just a handful if you compare it to the rest of the population.
Okay.
So the rest of the population will do the whole Obada Bay and all that. And the people who are supposed to be supporting those of us who think that the young ones must be giving a chance are tied to the apron strings of retirees, and they are thinking that Muti TV so Sebio you don't even know what it is to govern a nation. You don't even have expertise or the experience or anything. But until we are given the chance to prove ourselves, we are not going to go anywhere.
See, for some persons who have been appointed in this government, in the previous government, if that is what it takes to govern, we are ready.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If that's what it takes to govern,
if that's the only thing
we are ready.
If that's
what it takes, we are ready.
And we are more than qualified. We are ready and more than qualified.
Let me tell you something. Look at a beautiful scenario like somebody who has had 30, 35 years of public service in a certain field, specialized in that area. It's gone past 60, maybe 65, and he is the board chair with a young person like 40, 45 being the CEO. And then he's sitting at the top and telling him, no, this is the wrong way to go. No, go this way, go that way. I'm saying until we change the era where 70 years, 80 years people want to be CEOs of state-owned enterprises, we will continue to account for losses. We will continue to declare all the losses, even though we may try to change, cigar this or that, we will still make losses. You know why? Because when they go to the office, they have 1-2 meetings, they want to go home and sleep. Because at 70, you are a grandpa. You need to be playing with your grandchildren.
Not to say
Stop
though that
it.
young
Jump
people
it.
are not corrupt too. So
no, I'm not saying that they are corrupt. I'm not saying
because someone might watch us and
but
think that we're saying that
no,
it's the older one.
I have not said that.
I'm just putting that
I need to put clarity.
So
I've not said that. I've not said that they are corrupt. I'm saying that most of them are old. They need to pave way for the young people to come in. They need to be playing advisory roles. They don't need to be the ones in the trenches working. That's what I'm saying. Okay. If I'm a young person and I have a lot of energy in me and I could be guided to do more, I could stay late at night to work some more for my country, Ghana. Why am I sitting at home? Why are 439 doctors who trained outside, who have come back home, written an exam that cost them $770 since February and up until now because we have not constituted a board. They can't get jobs to do, and yet we go to the hospitals. There are no people to take care of the sick people. Does it make sense?
It doesn't.
What are you talking to me about?
Anyway, we'll be right back with a lot more.